Hey guys, I am back with an actual Christmas themed video in December. It's a miracle. I've been working on using up this collection kit of Reflections Christmas from Echo Park. It is from a couple of years ago, 2013 it says. I picked it up at Scrap Fest about 2 years ago, I believe. And I used up some of it doing a pocket letter last year for Make Up Munchies and More. So I wanted to get the rest of the kit finished off, and I did a pretty good job in my opinion. I did manage to finish this entire 12 by 12 sticker sheet, so that's nice to get that used up. And then scrap wise, I only have 2 scraps paper left. I think, well, this one could probably be an embellishment. This will probably just go in my general scrap book thing. And then I attempted, with this handful of stickers that were left, I was actually thinking of making like little tags with some scraps and stuff, but then some of them ended up being a lot smaller than anticipated. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with them yet. I might just hold on to them and use other scraps from other collections or whatever to make embellishments. I'm not quite sure yet, but at least they're not on the sheet anymore and I can throw the sheet out. So while I focused on making cards with what I had left of this kit, I did have a few cut-aparts that I didn't really know what to do with, and some stickers I didn't know what to do with, so I did make this one very tiny, sort of kind of mini album. It's not really an album, it's very small. It's only, I guess, 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, because these are 3 by 4 cut-aparts. But I just thought it'd be an interesting way to use them up. So just put a very small lace closure on it. And it's just, like I said, very small. It just folds open. So we have this cut apart here, and I put the sticker there. This is just a cut apart. And then it folds open this way. And that's literally all it is on the inside. I think this is, yeah, these are stickers as well. But these were just cut aparts that I didn't really know how to use in cards. And then the back cover, there's just this cut apart there. So it's very simple. It literally can only hold a couple of very small photos, but, you know, it's something different. And then everything else I made with this collection were Christmas cards. So I made a total of 53 cards, and the majority of them were done with the November 2019 sheetload of cards. Card sketch from Call Me Crafty Owl. If you saw my last Work in Progress Wednesday video, I did show that sketch there. I will link the video where you can get it below. I mentioned in my Work in Progress video, I really liked this sketch. It was a really nice way to use up a good chunk of paper. So these, I guess, technically don't have to be Christmas cards. They can just be winter cards or whatever, but I really like how they turned out. And this is the other set I made with that same paper. You get 4 of the big pieces and 4 of the little pieces from each sheet, and then you just mix and match. This was a very vintagey set, and I really loved this, like, mail themed paper. This is the reverse set here. This one is a bit of a Santa-themed set, and that's the reverse version. I keep forgetting to mention when I use dark cardstock like this, I do put white cardstock on the inside so that you can write a message or whatever, because obviously it's a bit too dark to write on. Now we're getting into the green series of these cards from the same sketch. Again, I really liked this print with the different phrases on it. I just thought it looked really cute. And this is the reverse. And after I had finished pairing up paper to do that sketch with, aside from some scraps from the piece of paper that I used for the pocket letter last year, I was left with this one sheet of paper that was like green ledger paper that had this Merry Christmas in the corner, and the rest of it was just green ledger paper, and it didn't really match with anything. So I ended up cutting that into 4 by 5 1/4 card bases and sort of experimenting with that. So with this one, obviously, I used the sentiment that was in the bottom right corner, and then I just threw some coordinating stickers on, and I think it turned out pretty good. This one had a bit more of the design from the bottom right corner on it already, so I just sort of added some coordinating stickers. And this is a pretty simple one with one of the cut-aparts. I'm kind of 50-50 on both of these. I like parts of them and dislike other parts of them. And this one ended up being a bit of a failed experiment. I initially just had this cut apart and I had stamped Merry Christmas on it, and I thought it was really bland, and I initially then just put these 2 pieces, these little cut apart pieces, I think I got them in a swap, just put those on there, but there was still so much white that I started like trying to cover it up, and I think I might have overdone it, unfortunately. Next we're getting into cards made with some of the 4 by 6 cut aparts from the collection. Obviously I just trimmed them down to be 4 by 5 1/4. This one was pretty straightforward. I just stamped a sentiment in the little journaling spot there, and then put some glittery embellishments on it, and I do really like how this one turned out. I'm a little more 50-50 on this one. I really wasn't sure how to embellish it. Originally I was going to stamp something on it, but then I realized that like there's already a sentiment right there, and putting another sentiment on it would be kind of awkward, plus I didn't have anything big enough to take up enough space that it would just look kind of silly. So I just grabbed some stuff from my stash and did a little bit of embellishing. These two are both pretty straightforward. It's literally just a cut apart and each has one sticker on it. I put a sticker there and a sticker there. And this one was another cut apart that I just embellished with some stickers to give it some more personality, because again it was kind of like a journaling card. So I added this sticker, and what else is a sticker? This, and that. And this one again was another 4x6 cut apart. I put a sticker on it, but it felt a little naked after, but it just had that on it, so I threw some adhesive buttons on it to jazz it up a little bit. Then I got down to the part where I had a bunch of scraps that I had to figure out how to use. Again, some worked better than others. These both are scraps combined with some of the remaining cut aparts that I had from the collection. I backed this up on some of the red glitter paper from Dollarama, just to make them pop a little bit, and I really liked how this turned out. This one I just stamped a sentiment on the journaling card, because obviously you don't want to put too much on it because this part is just so busy, and then you've also got the busyness of the top and the bottom. So I think it turned out okay. I kind of still feel like it needs something, but I don't really know what. I also ran out of cut-aparts that were appropriate for cards anyways, but I did have some random cut-apart sheets that I had bought loose that were in my stash, and some of them ended up going really well with this collection, so I really like how this one turned out. And I thought this one turned out really cute as well. This one didn't turn out quite as nice as I thought it would, although it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be either. Basically, I was stuck with border strips from the 12x12 sticker sheet, and I didn't really have any way to use them, so I just sort of layered them in the back here on a card base. The card base was initially the one out to these edges here where the red is, but then the last bit of the border strips up here fell short, so I ended up trimming it down, and then I just backed it up on some of the glitter paper from Dollarama, and then it was super busy, and I ended up throwing on a big cut apart to sort of cut down on the busyness. It's not horrible, it just didn't turn out the way I was hoping it would. It didn't look quite as cute as I had hoped. This one uses the same cut apart but with scraps from the collection, and I think it turned out far better. These two are using cut aparts from my stash, and then I stamped on sentiments on both because there was this extra space at the top of the cut apart. And then I embellished it a little bit with some adhesive buttons. I didn't have enough scraps to go all the way across on this one, so that's why there's the white line there. And then I don't know if you can tell, I won't point it out in case you can't, but one of them, when I stamped the greeting, some residual ink ended up on it, and I put white on it, and I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but I can see it glaringly, so that's going to be an oops that stays with me, but that card's not going out, but you know, I tried. And then this final card, I ended up fussy cutting the joy out of a 4x6 cut apart, because that particular cut apart sheet, all the 4x6 cut aparts were, I couldn't trim them down in a way that would work with the scraps. They basically need to be cards on their own. So the only one I could think of was to possibly try trimming this down, because obviously the letters were spaced farther apart on the cut apart, and it actually worked out pretty good. It's not quite the same shade of turquoise, but it all kind of works together. And that's it for this project share. Like I said, I made one mini album and 53 cards with one collection and a little bit of help from my stash. So I'm really proud of how that turned out. It ended up making a lot more cards than I expected, and I used up, like I said, probably 99% of the collection, so that was fantastic. I'm gonna hopefully knock at least one more out before the end of the month. Whether you'll see that before or after Christmas, I'm not sure, but I do have the new sketch from Call Me Crafty Owl in hand, and I have a collection that it will work really nicely with, so that's next on the list of things to do. Like I said, I will link to Call Me Crafty Owl's channel and the video where you can get the November 2019 sketch, which is this one, if you want to check that out and make some cards yourself. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Please give it a share, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and the little bell in the corner to be notified when I next upload a video. You can check out my Instagram and my Facebook, as well as ways to support the channel, all linked below, and I will see you guys in the next one.